Hi, everyone. Oh, welcome. Big up LB, obviously. Sorry I couldn't redirect earlier, you weren't live, so that's my bad. Big up to LB. Obviously, that's my boy. My beautiful boy. Guys, let's talk about the game, shall we? I'm sure you've just spoken about it with LB, so I apologise you'll be speaking about it again. But maybe we can try to dissect why that happened today. We all knew that we weren't gonna win. I thought we were gonna lose, but I guess it sort of happened in a more pathetic way than even I was anticipating. Before we start, everyone was terrible apart from Ake. I think that's fair to say. Ake was the only starter who I thought had a good game. They did very well again. Such a shame because Ake played really well and Salah still got a goal and an assist, which is very upsetting for him because it means his good game was irrelevant. So, sorry about that, Nathan. We let you down. Everyone else was poor. I'm going to be arguing in this video, this stream, whatever, live show, another therapy session indeed, that there were some bad individual performances. But I'm actually going to reason that the one person who's the most fault for today is the manager, because the lineup was horrendous. The way that he set out that lineup was horrendous. And just general decisions throughout the game, in my opinion, were awful. So, whilst this isn't the fault of one person or one individual, if any one individual is to burden the majority of this blame, in my opinion, it's Pep again. And I feel like this is a repeat of last season. And you'll notice that in this show, I'll be saying a lot of what I said. I have been saying the past few games, and indeed what I said towards a lot of the bits last season. But this is largely, of course, there are some untimely absentees. De Bruyne, for example, not being fit enough to start, etc., etc. But I'm sorry, you could have started De Bruyne today. Let's say, for argument's sake, the most obvious swap would be Foden for De Bruyne. You could have done that today, and it would have been the same. It would have been the exact same result, because De Bruyne would have done the exact same as our other players today. He'd have picked up the ball, he'd have looked ahead to see what options are ahead of him, he'd have seen Haaland double marked by the centre-backs, and then he would have seen the wingers not doing anything. And I'm not even going to have a big go at the wingers in that first half, because Nunes and Bernardo aren't wingers. So it's not. So we can dissect their individual performance from out wide, but there's always got to be this asterisk over their heads in that it's not really their fault, in fairness. So Nunes, for example, didn't play particularly well today, but he was doomed to fail from the off. And in my view, Pep, not intentionally, but he did set them up to fail in a way. And that's unacceptable from my perspective. And it's obviously wonderful what Pep has done recently, but I don't agree that you can't criticise him because he's given this club great things. Obviously he has, and people saying Pep out, they're a little bit silly. They're going too far the other way. But we can definitely criticise, we can definitely question what's been going on in the past few games, because I think he's got it wrong quite a lot so far. And he hasn't been helped by the poor squad building. He hasn't been helped by certain players not being available, of course, but it's still not good enough. There are still very high standards with these players and with this manager and with this squad and with this club right now. So I think it's fine to criticise fairly. There's no point in being reactive and saying sell this player, sell all the players and get rid of the manager, and these players who are young or will do good work in the future or have done good work in the past but maybe aren't performing how you'd want to now, let's get rid of them. That's not helpful. So I'm just going to preface that at the start of this. I'm not going to be digging out any individuals' players today. I need to correct myself then. I will be digging out individuals, but that's mainly Pep. Even Walker, who again was at fault for a goal, but we know by now that he shouldn't even be starting. It's just sad. at this point. And again, it's Pep who keeps playing him. Walker's not going out there to... He's not doing it on purpose. Do you know what I mean? I'm just feeling sorry for him at this point. It's not his fault. Do you get me? He's just bad at the football. And Pep keeps playing him there. Almost like... I don't even know what it's like. It's like you've got... What am I saying? A horse in the Grand National and it's broken its leg. It needs to get put down. But you don't. You don't do it. You just let it trot on. That's the sort of analogy I'm trying to do. Let's start with the lineup, shall we? I'm going to get it up. Because then I can actually see what's going on. I don't want to get this wrong. Please make sure to leave a like on the video, by the way, chaps. As you are coming in. Also, before we start, shout out Liverpool. Who are brilliant. Deserve the win. And let's be real, lads. Let's be real. Liverpool, let's just praise Liverpool for a second, who so far deserve to be winning the title but at a canter. I think they've been the best team in the league by a fair margin. Obviously, so much better than us. I also think they've been a lot better than Arsenal. Now, maybe they'll drop off. Maybe they'll get some injuries, to like Salah, etc. Who knows what will happen. But I think Liverpool have been fantastic this season, and Slot deserves massive props for that. So fair play. Because, again, in the same way against Spurs, just because we were poor today, the other team still has to exploit that weakness. And Liverpool did that, in fairness, today. So shout out to them. By the way, I know everyone was interested at the end of the watch along. I was trying to order pizza and my place wasn't available. It's available. They didn't have my garlic knot, so I've had to order 2 pepperoni pizzas. Yes, I don't care if I'm being fat. But that's coming. So at least I'm going to be able to drown my sorrows with food. And I will be coming to the chat momentarily. This is an interactive show. The way I do it, I like to rant for a little bit. And then I'll come to you guys in a moment. So keep your comments, keep your thoughts coming and your questions and comments coming. And if there's like one which links into the conversation, I'll pop it up and then we'll go through them individually. But let's start with the lineup. And again, props to Liverpool who deserve the win. And is what do we think was probably a realistic scoreline today? Because 2-0 flattered us. I was amazed it was 1-0 at half time. I think Van Dijk could have had 2 goals in that first half, and then could have had could have finished off a hat trick in the second half. Salah missed a 1v1, but for a fantastic Nunes block with a conceded goal. Ortega had to do so much work. We conceded an XG of over 3.3, which is insanity, and 5 big chances conceded once again. So again, I don't know how many more times I need to repeat it, but we know what the issues are at City. We conceded 5 big chances. And maybe you're tired to death of the stat that I keep whipping out, but I feel like it's necessary because there are still some people who don't quite understand the severity of the problem. 5 big chances. And it's the fact that they weren't even all from open play. It wasn't even a case of, oh, well, our midfield got overrun. This isn't a new issue. Set pieces as well. So we should have conceded twice from corners. Now, there's no excuse to be bad at defending set pieces. There is zero excuse to be bad at that. You can be functionally poor from like a transitional perspective, but you should still be solid and resolute in terms of set pieces. So that's really disappointing as well. I think 4 or 5-0 would have been an apt scoreline. The background is red because I'm angry. So that is why the background is red. I managed to fix my chat popping up. It's still not good enough here because I can't see who my members are, but I know you are one, so that's lovely. The background's red because I'm angry. The blue moon sign does not go back on. The LNobbins sign does not go back on until we win a game of football in the Premier League. Okay, hopefully that'll be against Forest. We'll see. But there we go. Yeah, so we should have conceded 4 or 5 goals. That would have been realistic. So again, this is clearly the biggest issue at City once again. 4 or 5 goals conceded. 4 or 5. Doesn't matter, it's at Anfield. Doesn't matter. It's embarrassing. It's another game where it's... This time, to be fair, this game does not get on my stat list because that's 5 non-penalty big chances conceded. So, hey, we're getting better. This time it was only 4 non-penalty big chances conceded. Maybe by May, we'll lower that down to an average of 2 or 1. Who knows? So there we go. Let's talk about the lineup, shall we? Again, shout out to Liverpool. Unbelievable. They deserve the win and deserve to win by multiple goals. I don't see us beating Forest, by the way, because who knows? The lineup was shit. Okay? It was shit and stupid, and I hate it. Not the players, but I've no idea what we were doing. It's worse. It was worse than I thought it was going to be. Right. So we're starting with Ortega. I was like, okay. So that told me everything I needed to know about how we were going to approach this game. Because if Ortega's in goal instead of Ederson, that means that you are trying to set up more defensive. Okay, fine. I better not see us trying to play out from the back then as much as we are doing. I want to see lots of long balls to Haaland and lots of second balls. Okay? Whatever. Diaz starting, good. Good. Ake starting, good. As we established, played so well against Salah today. Big up to him. Kanji has to start. I know he's not been playing particularly well. The positives ended there, though. The positives ended there. Walker, we've discussed. Lewis, I feel like we've discussed to death in the past. Nunes, starting. Nice. At left wing. Oh, so close. So close to nearly being a good thing. Foden, right, because De Bruyne is not able to start, apparently. So obviously Foden starts. Haaland. So that means that we've essentially set up to not attack. So that means, really, our only two attackers are Haaland and Foden. So before a ball is kicked, I'm looking at as, right, we must be trying to play on the counter-attack then. Because we've made a team in which our attack has no chance. We've got zero prospects of creating anything here in this game. If we do, it will be by luck and a mistake. And in fact, that was the only time we actually were able to create something in the game, with Van Dijk dropping an absolute clanger and getting away with it. Outside of that, created nothing. What a surprise. You set up a team which, by definition, can't create shit all. We've got two attackers in the team, essentially, in Haaland and Foden. Nothing else. Absolutely nothing. So all that has to happen is Haaland just needs to get marked out of the game, and that's it. Ooh, what a surprise. That's what happened. The amount of times that Haaland was double marked by the centre-backs, whether it's, Van Dijk and Gomez, or Van Dijk and Kwanzaa, whoever it was. So that means that when any midfielder, usually Foden, picks up the ball, and we can even, let's forget that, we can even throw in Kevin De Bruyne, the best creative passer in the world. Let's throw him in. Let's pretend that he was in that team instead, okay? Where's he supposed to play balls to? Who's he supposed to pass to? He can't play in Haaland because he's double marked. That means there's space for someone else. The wingers. Hang on, who are our wide players? Oh, well, in the first half, it was Matheus Nunes and it was Bernardo. In the second half, it got worse. In the second half, it was Nunes and Kyle Walker. So somehow, we went backwards. So it meant there's zero runners for our midfielders to play balls to. Haaland's trying, but he's double marked. So that means that by definition, we can't create shit all. Because we've been set up in a manner, and the lineup has been set up in a manner whereby we can't create anything. Surprise, surprise, that only lasted like 10 minutes, but what a surprise, it got so much better when actual wide players came on. And again, this isn't a dig at Nunes and Bernardo. It's not their fault, and I've said this at the start of the season. It's not their fault. But they just don't have the capabilities or the instincts to do that in the same way that, Savio does, or even Doku did when they came on. And that's why for like that sort of 10-15 minute spell before we conceded the penalty and then it's game over and then all hope is gone, we actually looked like we had something, because now all of a sudden the midfielders can find the wide players. And now all of a sudden there's a little bit of a threat. This is why I'm reluctant to blame individuals in terms of our attackers like Nunes, Bernardo, Foden, Haaland. I'm reluctant to blame them because, in my view, they were set up to fail and to die. They were left in a wilderness of nothingness. Now, if we started, with Savio and Doku, for example, And they still played like shit, and all the forward line still played like shit, I'd be singing a different tune. I'd be like, right, well, the structures are there for you to succeed, and yet you aren't doing it. That's my issue today, and that's why I'm the biggest person to blame for me is Pep. Because he didn't have to play like this. This was a choice. We are not riddled by injuries. I know some players are out injured and they're important players, but we are not in a situation where we had to play this team. And yeah, I agree, Sebastian. If people are actually saying Pep out, you're an idiot, quite frankly. That's stupid. That is a stupid thing to say. He's still the best manager in the world, going through a very bad period, and yeah, he's making mistakes, obviously. But he's the best manager in the world, so let's calm down. And I'm criticising him here, and rightly so, but that doesn't extend to Pep out. If you say Pep out, then leave. Quite frankly, I don't want you here. Okay. That's that established. Let's get back into criticising Pep, though, shall we? Because again, the lineup screams defence. It screams defence. Ortega, Diaz, Lewis, Bernardo, Walker, Gundogan, Nunes at left wing, Bernardo right wing, then Walker right wing second half. That screams defence and trying to hang on for like dear life, right? Okay, fine. We're not fine because we don't have the players to play like that, but right. So why, oh why, are we not even playing like that? We've set up with conservative players, but we aren't really setting up conservatively. So as I outlined in like the Newcastle game, where we were sacrificing everything going forwards for the idea of control but not getting it, it was the exact same thing here. We were setting up to defend and play well defensively, but we weren't doing that. Like the amount of times that we tried to play out from the back, it's like, okay, that's fine, but why isn't our best playing out from the back keeper in goal then? Why is Akanji moving into midfield at times? If that's the idea, then why isn't Ederson starting? And why isn't Gvardiol starting? If that's the idea. Just made no sense. So once again, we got all of the negatives with zero of the positives. It's okay to not create much if your platforming is such that you're not able to create anything. If the end goal is to play for a draw, that's what that team tells me. And that's the... Thomas, I think you've raised a perfect point here. Yeah. It was neither conservative or attacking, that was the problem. Once again, we're caught in two middle grounds. And that's been the... It's this weird sort of like dichotomy of philosophy. Andrew, thank you so much for super chat as always. You missed the Liverpool praise at the start, mate. You'll be happy to hear. I have no idea why you were nervous. Oh, sorry. Nervous at 1-0 for the second half. Yeah. For 10 minutes or so, it was actually interesting, wasn't it? And then our defence capitulated once again, and then the game's done, and it's over. It's irrelevant. Had we been able to play the whole game like that, or a whole half like that, maybe we'd be able to do something. But again, I'll repeat, this is why I'm not going to have too much of a go at our attackers today. Because essentially, the way that Pep made the team was that we had a 10-minute window to score a goal. Because it was going to be impossible to score a goal in the preceding 80 minutes and the subsequent ones thereafter. So you're telling me that we've got to score a goal in 10 minutes at Anfield when we're already a goal down? Right. Something tells me that isn't optimal from a team building perspective. Spoilers, it isn't. Where's my pizza? Less than a minute away. Guys, this is going to turn into a mukbang. We've got 350 people watching, which is brilliant. Thank you so much, LB, for the raid. 67 likes, guys. Come on. 150. Not even 115. 150. Come on. Get it up here. So I'm really annoyed and frustrated at the lineup that was put out. I'm still trying to wrap my brain around not starting at least one of Savio or Doku. I'm still perplexed at the idea that Nunes is playing at left wing. when we know that we need him centrally. That issue still hasn't been resolved. We are playing Bernardo and Gundogan. Or at one point, it was Bernardo and Lewis. I've never seen that before. And that is maybe the worst midfield partnership that I can even think of. What would be worse than that? Oh, thank you so much. Yes, please. You can have some if you want, because I probably won't eat both.
Really?
Yeah, of course.
Did you say me?
Yeah. You feel better? Good. Yeah, Mrs. Nobbins hasn't been well. Can we have like some get better soon messages to Mrs. Nobbins in the chat, please, guys? Because she's not been very well the past couple of days. She's been bedbound. Thank you, guys. I've got my pepperoni pizza, and now I'm a slightly happier boy. So good. Yeah, mad. But to be fair, we did a similar thing last season where we had Alvarez playing at left wing, didn't we? Big up, Josh. Thank you for your wishes. I will pass them on to her. That'll mean a lot to her. Yeah, look at that. Yes, she'll like that. I'll show that. She likes you guys. I always tell her that you guys are nice. Right. What else was I complaining about? Yeah. There are so many issues. And this is why I will not buy giving Pep the excuse of injuries and fitness concerns. If De Bruyne's not fit enough to start, that's fine. That's fine. But you can't have the only attackers on the pitch being Haaland and Foden. They are doomed to fail from the off. Before a ball is kicked, I could tell that they were going to play like shit. And, you know, I feel like I'm getting an annoying reputation as being like a Foden fanboy. It's annoying because I don't want to have to keep defending him like this. Now, Foden was shit today. But everyone was shit today. And why were they shit? Because that's the thing. They didn't have to be shit today. They were set up shitly and therefore played like shit. What a surprise. This is the problem. And this is why I'm reluctant to dig out individuals. Because the parameters aren't there for them to succeed. This isn't, oh, system players then. You need to have some sort of good structure around you. You can't just play the player you need most desperately in midfield at left wing, and you can't play a player who hasn't been good at right wing since like the treble winning gear out on the right. You can't expect Lewis and Gundogan to lock down the entirety of the midfield. And you can't expect Kyle Walker to do anything when he's at the ripe old age of 79. Pizza's here, guys. It's just standard pepperoni, but it's bloody gorgeous. And I wanted garlic knots, but they didn't have any, so I've ordered 2. I'm not going to eat them both, but, you know, I'll share some with Mrs. Nobbins later and maybe have it cold or something, or warm it up later. And yeah, unknown, great point. And you got Akanji. Akanji propping up, trying to beat John Stones. And he kept giving away the ball, Akanji. Now, it's not his fault. Pep keeps telling him to do that. I just don't understand what's going on. No sauce. It's just a pepperoni pizza. IDK, that's the thing. Because the subs, we did play a lot better. We played a lot better. And the attack played a lot better. Now, why was that? Why was that? Because now our central players actually have wingers to hit. They've got options. Now Liverpool's defensive line has to go back. If you're Trent Alexander-Arnold, and again, it's not Núñez's fault. This is why, again, reluctant to blame individual attackers. If you're Trent Alexander-Arnold or you're Robertson, and you look at your team don't have the ball, and you look up, and you're in a 1v1 situation, and you see Bernardo Silva, you see Matheus Nunes. Are you concerned? Is your first instinct, I need to drop back and defend here? Or is your first instinct, so? I'll just stand here. I don't need to drop back. They're not going to make a run in behind. They're not going to beat me 1v1. I would suggest that it's the latter rather than the former. So if we're not creating any threats or any fear in the minds of the opposition defenders, then that means that the opposition are just going to be able to they're going to be able to station their defense higher up the pitch. So it means they're going to be able to press far easier. And it means that when you couple that with wide players who don't even want to run in behind, then they're just looking at you like, whatever, I'll just chill here because I know you're not going to beat me. I know you can't beat me. I know you don't have the instinct to run in behind. I'm just going to play higher up the pitch, pinning you in even more. Conversely, when you've got Doku, whatever people think of Doku, whatever people think of Savio from like an output perspective, if you're a fullback and you see them running at you, you're scared. Definitely, 100% you are concerned. So whether consciously or not, the whole defensive line drops back. Because now there is a concern that Savio runs in behind, or Doku beats you 1v1 and leaves you looking like a mug. That gives space to other players. It's not a coincidence that we played so much better in that period, that all of our attackers played so much better in that period. Doku, Foden, Savio, even Haaland looked more threatening. Bernardo, when he moved to the centre, looked a lot better than when he was played out wide. Because all of a sudden City have more space. Because Liverpool's defenders are more concerned. So they sacrifice that space. Because there's more respect there. This isn't complicated. And if you don't do that, then once again, you're just setting up to fail. Hey Mike, Ake was the only good individual, yeah. But again, the point of this stream isn't about digging out individual players. Because if you're set up like that, then what are you going to do? Haaland was pinned by the... He was. And if Haaland's pinned, that's absolutely fine. It means there's got to be space somewhere else. So, whether it's Foden picking up the ball, or De Bruyne picking up the ball when he came on, if you look up and there is nothing ahead of you, you can't create something that isn't there to be created. If a winger isn't making a run on the left, you can't do anything. If a winger's not making a run on the right, you can't do anything. So if Bernardo's not running in behind, because he won't, and Nunes isn't really running in behind, he's not a natural wise player, then you're left in a situation where you actually can't create anything. So that was the issue there. That's the problem. And it's all about platforming. Do you have a solid foundation? Yes. Then, oh, is this frozen? Oh, yeah, it is. Why has that happened? Oh, gosh, it's kicking off. There we go. So I don't know what happened there. It's updated now. You need a solid foundation to build an attack off. But there's no... If we had that 10-minute spell throughout the entirety of the game, we probably could have scored a fair few goals and created something and created quite a lot of chances. As it was, we weren't set up to do that. Rico Lewis didn't play right wing, BB Sweet. Be okay. He did off ball, but that'll be right midfield, wouldn't it? Let's now talk about like the defense, I guess. And maybe the midfield as well. Because again, it's the same old, same old. 5 big chances conceded today. 4 from open play. Some bloody headers as well. Ake played well on an individual level. That's nice. That's good. But once again, 0 support. Once again, players who you expect to not give away the ball, like Bernardo Silva and Gundogan, just giving away the ball in stupid areas. I think Rico Lewis is being hung out to dry as well. It's very frustrating Because I like Rico Lewis a lot, but he's just being misused horrendously. I don't get it. Is there a chance Everton are willing to take Stones and 40 mil? I don't think so, mate. Leave a like on the video, by the way. I want 150 likes. Come on, get it up here. Lesbian cosplay. I have no idea what that means. It sounds derogatory, though. It also sounds homophobic. So we'll be having less of that, thank you. Moses says, I was looking how Pep set up the team, and it was just like simple passes, and they're already at our goal. It's because there's no midfield there. There's no midfield. When it's Bernardo Silva and Gundogan, then you have nothing. You have nothing to work with. Yeah, you can just get timed out, banned, whatever. I can't be bothered dealing with homophobic idiots. They've got no protection. In the first half, it was Bernardo Gundogan. In the second half, it turned into Luis Bernardo. And then the second goal went in, and then from there, like it just... I got bored analysing the game after the second goal went in. Grealish came on, De Bruyne came on, whatever. Grealish played centrally, that's fun, you know. But I just like switched off at that point. So don't ask me like what was the setup when we went 2 goals down, because I was done. I was done. I noticed how like still like no one was able to, even at that point, able to create anything. This is why it's not going to be as simple as De Bruyne comes on, fixes all our problems. Because De Bruyne's, I know he's only had like cameos in recent weeks, or months, whatever, but he's not been particularly good. That's the problem. This isn't just a bring in De Bruyne and everything will be fine. No. It's not that simple. I bloody wish it was that simple. But it's not. But it's not. And I'm just lost for words. I'm just lost for words. Because I'm not surprised we lost, but I'm surprised at how we set up. And it was very confusing. And even when we looked good, it just takes one silly error to just destroy any and all momentum. Like Diaz and Walker, and then Ortega. No idea what they're doing. I have no idea what they're doing for the goal. I don't know what's going on. Sorry if you don't like watching mukbang, by the way. But I'm starving and I need this pizza. This is like, I'm a sad boy pizza. So you have to hold that. How many players do we need to sign? Don't go attacking him. I'm not attacking him. What? Are you okay? Are you okay? We need to sign. Depends who goes. We need at least 3. One assumes that lots of players are going to go. We might need like 5 to come in. Or something. Especially if we like sell or move on, you know, Walker and Gundogan and Bernardo, and Kovacic, maybe Nunes, maybe Grealish, maybe Stones. We're going to have to sign a lot of players, to be fair. In terms of like players who are like, you're locked in, thank you for subscribing, German Chicken Wing. I thought you were already subscribed. If you are new, make sure to subscribe. In terms of players who you'd look at and go, yeah, you're fine to keep, like you're safe. Bob, Rodri, Gvardiol, Edison for me. Savio, Doku. Ake if he stays fit. Diaz, Foden, Haaland, Lewis. Apart from that, I think everyone's fair game. Whether it's because of like contracts expiring or question marks about are you good enough to be more than a squad player or age or whatever. It's got to be a big rebuild. Big rebuild. That's a lot of players I've just listed. I feel like. I don't know how many, it was a lot. It's not. And this is why, like, even like, let's take like the worst performing player in the City team. Let's take Kyle Walker. This is why it really frustrates me when people try to target one player. And it's not just that. Even last season, it wasn't just one player. Diaz is locked in as Diaz gets to stay. Sorry, I don't know if I said Diaz, but yeah. Let's take the most extreme example, Kyle Walker. If Kyle Walker doesn't play for City, there are still fundamental issues. Walker didn't play against, was it Feyenoord? Or was it Spurs? No, I think it was Feyenoord he didn't play. And we were still shit defensively. So there should not be any targeting of any one player. This is a much wider issue, and this is also why it's not just as simple as sign one player in Jan. Sign one player in Jan and all the issues get fixed. No. These issues are far greater than that. Even though Walker was at fault for the first goal, we still should have conceded way more goals outside of that one. It's not just on him. It's not just on any of these players. If there's any main individual, it's Pep. On Ortega, well, he gave away a penalty, so that's not outstanding, is it? His distribution was all right, but I didn't really see the point of starting him if we were going to play out from the back anyway, personally. There we go. The pizza's making me feel a lot better. I don't know if anyone's interested. Yeah, Ortega was not outstanding. He literally gave away the penalty. He was fine. I still would have preferred Ederson to start if we're playing out from the back. It makes no sense to do that. We need at least 2 or 3. We'll win the league. What's that based on, though, MW Beta? What's that based on? Why do you think we'll win the league? Aren't we 11 points off Liverpool? Aren't we 11 points off Liverpool? Something insane. There's no guarantee. It's not like last season where we went through a bad period, but we knew that De Bruyne was coming back. It's not as simple as that. Even if Rodri was coming back in Jan, he isn't. But even if he was, that still wouldn't solve all the issues at play. At this stage, we're too far behind the Liverpool and Arsenal. Chuck. You eating pizza too? Big up bacon. Yeah, Premier League's gone for me. It's gone. What we need to do now, from my perspective, is almost essentially trying to plan for. Obviously, there are still cup competitions, but almost like trying to plan for next year and go, right, how do we want to play next season? How do we want to play next season? And build from there, basically. Yeah, people are just proving me right, Ari, blaming one player, by the way. One player who is an attacker, and I'll repeat, we conceded 5 big chances today. I don't know what is going on with some of these people. It's so boring. I'm so bored of it. So you just believe, but you say believe in the Blues, but like based on what? I'm not just going to blindly believe they win. We're going to sign maximum 1 player in Jan, and we've just established 1 player won't fix this problem. Even if all our players come back, it will improve. It'll get better. You know, like we won't lose like 6 games in a row, or not win 6 games in a row, whatever the mental stat is. It'll get better, and that's lovely. But it's not going to turn around to the point that City go on this mad run and start to win every single game, win 20 in a row. Well, that ship has sailed. That ship has sailed. If we could somehow sign like 3 players in Jan, and they're all of like first team quality, then maybe. Maybe. I'd love if Foden bulked up as well, Metelli, but I don't know if that would help his game. Sadly, he's not blessed with like Jude Bellingham genetics, which is such a shame. But there we go. Edson has had to make more saves this year, indeed. He's played well, to be fair, most of it. Smart signings, Wharton just used Nunes as number 8 for me, you say. Get me Belabor. And get me Wharton / Zubimendi. I don't care. Get me them. And give me a right back if you can as well. As I say, we need 3. We need 3. What do you think should be the setup on Wednesday? Oh, God, I don't know. One hopes that De Bruyne is able to start. That's what one hopes. If he's able to start, he obviously starts. So what would I do? Well, I'd start a winger, funnily enough. You know. That's the first thing I'd do. So I'm going to start sort of like go from front to back. So I play Haaland. I play Savio, De Bruyne, Foden, Gvardiol. Oh no, would I do that? Would I just like go for it and like vibe? Should I just vibe? Yeah, you know what? If we're gonna be shit out of possession, let's just be shit. Let's just bloody go for it at this point. Doku, Foden, Haaland, De Bruyne, Savio. Unreal front 5. I don't give a shit. We're going to be shit out of possession anyway. 3-2 build. Edison obviously in goal. Diaz, Ake, Akanji. Kovacic is still unfit, so it's going to have to be Gundogan. And then Gvardiol pushing up. John Stones' role. That's what I'm doing. I don't give a shit if it's unstable out of possession. We're shit out of possession now. Yeah? It's irrelevant. Just firm it. This is actually worse than I thought it was going to be. And firm it at this point. The alternative, if you want to be a bit more sensible, is to swap out Doku for Gvardiol and then play Nunes in the centre. Those are if you want to be more realistic, the second one is still a system that I like. If you want to be like, well, we're shit anyway, let's just fucking go for it, then that would be what I would do. And then I'd pack the midfield out of possession. That's what I do. I'll predict us to win against Forest. I'll be bold. I'll say we'll win at home against Forest. Why not? That would be the team. That's easily our best attack. Easily our best attack. Whether it's, Gvardiol or Doku on the left, it doesn't really matter. And there we go. Yeah, Anthony, that's a really clever idea. I'll tell you what I'll do. Tell you what we'll do is we'll drop our second best interior in the entire squad. We'll drop our best player from last season. And in a season where we are struggling to score goals, we'll also get rid of arguably our best goal threat from outside the box. Smart guy. That's what we'll do. Well done. Do you want to take his job? Would you offer Gundo a non-player role? Hell yeah. Game as a coach. Definitely. Game as a coach. Definitely. Best realistic transfers. I don't even know what's realistic in Jan, Matty. That's the issue. I don't know who would come in Jan. I don't know who would sell to us in Jan. Because everyone knows we're desperate as well. So, tax added on. So, if, for example, we wanted that, VJ, you're so missing the point. Do you remember the start of the show when I said that the squad haven't been platformed correctly? Play Kanji at the 6. Yeah, okay, Anthony. Okay, Anthony. Did you see Akanji moving into the centre today? Anthony F. Did you see Akanji moving into the centre today? Did you see him doing that last season? He's not something he can do. And you want him to do it out of possession? Never mind in possession? What is going on? That might be worse than that might be more foolish than the other suggestion, my child. BJ, no, we wouldn't be top of the league. We wouldn't, Sunshine. Okay, let's say. Let's go back to our fixture, shall we? Let's do this. To prove my point, the fucking shit argument, let's probably do that, shall we? Let's give them all another goal, shall we? For argument's sake. We should have conceded many goals. So if we're using that argument, then I can use the argument that if the other teams had performed, then they should have done it. Well, Bournemouth should have scored 5 or 6 goals in the first instance. So that's a shit and irrelevant game. Sporting, we conceded 4. Brighton. How many was it that time? How many was it this game, lads? Oh, don't worry. It was just the 8 big chances conceded. Yeah, so Brighton should have scored about 5 or 6. Right? Okay? Next. Fucking next. Spurs, 4. Yeah. If only our strikers had been on form that day. If only we'd have scored 5. Then we'd have been alright, wouldn't we? Feyenoord. If only we'd have scored 3 goals and been 3-0 up in the 75th minute. Oh, wait a minute. Today. If only we'd scored 3 goals at Anfield. Oh, if only. Oh, what we doing? The sooner some of you guys wake up and smell the fucking pepperoni pizza and realise that it means dick all as to how many fucking goals we score, you will realise that we've got no fucking shot at winning games of football if we can't even prevent goals going in our own cunting net. We scored over 100 goals in the 1920 season. Over 100. And we had 81 points. Only 81 points. We are worse defensively than. So these people would have us score like 150 goals. 150 or something. Are you okay? Do you think that's reasonable? If only Haaland was scoring 60 goals. If only Foden was getting 50 assists. If only we were able to score 160 goals a season. Then we wouldn't even have to worry about the defence. Spoilers, lads and lasses. The big chances conceded is the problem. It doesn't matter if we score 2 goals at Anfield, if we concede 5 big chances now, does it? It doesn't matter if we score 3 goals at Spurs because we conceded 4 of them, and we should have conceded more of them. We could have conceded 5 goals against Bournemouth. Stop trying to tell me, oh, if only our strikers took their chances. How about we have a good defensive platforming in the first instance and then we can have that conversation? How about that? You can't expect players to score 5+ goals a game. And suggesting that Akanji should play in the 6 is maybe the most mental thing I've ever seen. That is worse than when people are saying that John Stones should play in the 6. What is going on? Insanity. Damn right my head's gone. I'm pissed off at idiots suggesting things that won't help or just missing the point. Yeah, what we should definitely do, guys, is play a centre-back who is shit on the ball in defensive midfield and is shit at centre-back this season in a more strenuous defensive area of the pitch. That's what we should do. Yeah, well done. I ate that shit argument up like I ate that fucking pizza. That was really nice, by the way. Big up to that pizza place. And now my hands are covered with fucking... Jerome, we're going to fall out. I know you're only joking. If we had Rodri and Kevin fit, we could maybe have sneaked another title. I think that's the thing, Herbal. Yeah, that's a great argument, by the way, whatever, dude. That's just like, just tell me that you've lost and move on with your life. Paces, the pizza was delicious, thank you. Yeah, if we had Roger and Kevin fit, we could maybe sneak another title. Yeah, last season, and this is the thing, this is not a this season issue. This was an issue last season. But one player, who is now apparently the worst player in the history of the world, saved us, as did Rodri. As did De Bruyne when he came back as well, of course. We got away with it, and I kept saying last season we were not good. We weren't that good the season before that, I know we won the treble, but for the most of that season, City were not good. For the first 2/3 of it, we were poor, to be honest with you. We stumbled upon the John Stones system, and it was a wonderful time. And we had like one of the best runs ever towards the end. But even throughout that season, we were not good. Last season, not good. Got away with it. Thankfully, Arsenal weren't able to capitalise. Thankfully, Arsenal aren't that impressive, as it turns out. Thank you so much for the super chats. We'll come back to it in a moment. To your super chat in a moment. Yeah, we got away with it. And I kept saying, we can't get away with this again. We can't not replace Gundogan again. Apparently so. You can't rely on Stones, exactly. I would love to trial Gvardiol in the Stones role. Yeah, and Metal, that's the annoying thing as well. Again, sorry to keep talking about Foden. He was shit today. He was shit today. But so was everyone, apart from Ake. And so therefore, let's ask... This is the thing with football analysis. It's not enough to say that something is something, because that's boring. That's what we call descriptive. I was going to say descriptive analysis, but that's not even analysis. That's Alan Shearer. I'm going to have got Alan Shearer here. That's Alan Shearer on Match of the Day. When he goes, and the ball comes to him, and he scores the goal, and it's a wonderful time. But why did that ball come to him? Why were they able to do that? That's what analysis is. So, X player was shit today, okay, but why? Because we know X player isn't shit. We know that outside of Ake, all the outfield players aren't shit. That's not a thing. Maybe some aren't as good as we want them to be, but not all of them are this bad. So, oh, thank you. I'm getting very stressed, thank you. And I'm alright, I'll bring them down later. It's very nice, by the way. What was I saying? I've got Pepsi Max now. I can't remember what I was saying. It was probably wise words. Sorry. What was I saying? No, but Red, you've sort of proven my point. That's exactly my point. Why was he poor today? Why was everyone poor today? That's exactly the point. You've missed exactly what I'm trying to say. The point is that everyone was bad. Why? They aren't bad players. There must be a bigger issue at play. And the issue, as I've outlined in this video, is that the setup is shit. And they are set up to fail. It didn't really matter who we played today. It didn't matter if De Bruyne started today. So everyone's saying De Bruyne should have started. Well, first of all, he wasn't fully fit. But let's say that that Kevin De Bruyne started wherever on the pitch. I don't care whether it was instead of Nunes and then Foden playing on the left, or instead of Foden directly, whatever. De Bruyne would have been shit today as well, as he basically was when he came on. Didn't do anything. And it's not his fault. He's being set up to fail. By the lineup, by the system, by Guardiola, just making a mess of it, to be honest. So, next time, try to not say, X player played badly. If it's just one player who makes individual errors, maybe it is just the case of that player played badly. Like Gvardiol against Feyenoord, that was inexplicable, weird, individual defending, or lack thereof. But if the whole team are playing like shit, and the whole team aren't shit, then it's not enough to say they're playing like shit. You need to go, well, why? Because I know that this team can do more. And then you'll actually hopefully be able to have a reasonably intelligent conversation outside of just going, well, that player's shit. But they aren't, are they? Like if people want to say Haaland today, he was shit today. Right, but he's not a shit player. So why was he playing so poorly? That needs to be the thing. Miss Nobbins gave me a napkin. Thank you very much. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. Let's go to AK Super Chats. Thank you very much, AK. God, I've got crumbs all over my fucking fat fingers. Yeah, oh, yeah. Intelligent this is a genuinely intelligent comment. Yes. And this isn't me being sarcastic. Genuinely. Yes, Jadine. Rodri would be struggling right now. You put any player into how we're trying to set up, and they would struggle. It's stupid. It's stupid to try to scapegoat. Well, first of all, it's stupid to scapegoat. If you are going to scapegoat a player, at least make it a player who is shit, not someone who isn't shit. That's weird. You get me? 2015-16 absolutely humbled me as a City fan. God, well, 13-14. That was when Leicester won it, right? I remember still living in delusion that season. I remember thinking, when Leicester came to City, I was like, right, if we win today, hey, there's a chance. And we got twatted. I think Mahrez scored, didn't he, or something? Shout out, Riyadh. Kit was dope. Thank you, AK. I'll let Mrs. Nobbins know. Thank you very much. It's very lovely of you. No idea. I have no idea when Stones are coming back, but we can't rely on him, can we? This is the thing. Stones a class when he's fit, but he's never fit. Yeah. If he's not fit, then you can't play him. So therefore, we can't even begin to build a system off him. That's the problem. That is the problem. System is... Yeah, exactly. It's not working. Once again, it's up for Pep to put these players in the best position possible. Sometimes it is just individual errors. I thought he did it well against Feyenoord. But we've regressed and we've gone backwards. And that's confusing to me. What's going on with their set pieces? I know it's never really been a strong suit, but we're bad defense. We've now figured out how to be good at them. We've figured out how to be good at right-sided corners. That's now a nice thing. We're still not good at left-sided corners. Right-sided corners were a lot better. And in general, left-footed deliveries from free kicks as well, we have got a lot better. That's going forwards. Everything else is still shit. Defensively, we're all over the place, though. And I'm not good at analysing set pieces. I'll be the first to admit that. That is not my strong suit. I'm very bad when it comes to that. So I actually don't know what the problem is. I should probably try to get better at that. I've never been good at analysing set pieces, to be honest with you. Saying Pep doesn't know what he's doing. I mean, I'm not saying that, Roy, because, again, I still think he's the best manager in the world, but I do think he's setting the team up to fail, and he has been for the past few weeks. I feel like. I thought he did well against... Feyenoord was an example where the team let him down. Because Pep did everything right. He got us 3-0 up. The tactics were fine. It was solid, stable, conceding very few chances, creating a decent amount, scoring 3 goals in the process. Gvardiol clanger, and then capitulation. And I'm not buying that the subs is what did that game. There's 20 minutes left, and you're 3-0 up at the Etihad against Feyenoord. I'm not putting any of that on Pep. That's the players' faults. Fault of the players. But he is confusing me. Will Kova... I mean, I think Kova will improve, because Kova actually started... Even though Kova had issues, Kova started the season very well in that now position that Gundogan's playing. And Gundogan's been playing a lot worse. There are still moments you can have a go at players, even though I've been having this spiel about, this player should do better. Gundogan, or rather, the manager should do better, blah, 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 blah. Gundogan has been making very weird errors in terms of, passing from deep. Very weird. Not like him at all. I don't really get what's going on there. Kovacic has been doing it as well, but Kovacic is a bit more mobile and seems to be a bit more switched on. So, yeah, look, Kova coming back, we will... This is hopefully... I'm hoping this is the worst it's going to get all season. Now, that doesn't mean that we're going to go on an unbelievable run and win the league. But it will get better in terms of players coming back. Diaz getting back to full fitness, etc. Kevin De Bruyne being able to start, so it's not just Foden. So we'll actually have 2 interiors rather than just the one. We need Foden and De Bruyne starting at the same time. There are only 2. creative midfielders at all. We need them both in the team at the same time. Doku being a fully fit available option will help. Even Grealish will help. Bob coming back, I think, will help as well. And I think that's been a big issue because Bob, as an interior, is fantastic. And I think he could have really helped out in some instances. You know, for example, like when we struggled to break down low blocks, I think Bob could have really helped. Like, right now, especially with De Bruyne being out, I would have loved to have seen Savio on the right and Bob and Foden in the middle. I think that would have been nice. Like, that would have been lovely to see. Because Foden and Bob share a lot of similar attributes. And along with having Savio out on the right, that would be really nice. Thank you so much, E-Ink, for the super chat. Bozo brainwashing has infected our club. Yeah, it is frustrating me, and hey, I'm lashing out at a lot of people. You know, I've been calling a lot of people idiots, but it's not. But it's such easy prey. Like, if you say something stupid, I've got to call you stupid. I'll call a spade a spade. You get me? And I don't make any apologies for it. But yeah, there's definitely been some. I don't know what it is. Lack of rational thinking. Drop our second best interior in the squad. Play a Kanji in defensive midfield. Sell Edison. I don't get it. I don't get it. Here's the thing, Matty. It depends on a number of things. If De Bruyne picks up another injury this season, where he's out for like another month, then I think you've got to say goodbye. I love Kevin De Bruyne, but we can't rely on that if he gets injured again. And first of all, let's assume he wants to. Let's assume he's open for renewal, and then the other thing has got to be one. Realistically, even though I don't like to say, "Oh, it's not my money," but realistically, we can't have. We can't have De Bruyne be our top earner, but you can only rely on him for like 6 months or something like that. So if he can prove he can stay fit from now to the end of the season, I would give him an extension personally. But we would also have to sign someone with the assumption that he's going to be leaving anyway. So I would give him a 1-year extension. But it would depend on wages. It would depend on his fitness as well. There is no replacing, it's the age thing as well. I'd give him like a 1-year extension if he stays fully fit from now to the end of the season. And if he'd be willing to take some sort of like pay cut. And I don't think he would, because he can just go to Saudi or the US and probably earn more. So it's unlikely. It is unlikely, but we need to move on from injured players. Same with John Stones. I love John Stones. Adore him. He's the reason why we won the treble. We don't know way we win it without him, obviously. But you can't, in a system where ideally we'd play 4 centre-backs, you can't immediately have one of them not available. My PC is popping off. Why is it so loud? You get me. Yeah, it's crazy, Herbal. Which are your ideal positions to rebuild the team with? We need at least 2 6'8" players, at least. We basically need upgrades on, Kovacic, Gundogan, Nunes, that area of the pitch. We need someone to solve our in-possession issue, and also someone to solve our rest defence issue. And then from there, we can talk about getting a right back. We can talk about, does Grealish need to leave? Bring in another wide player. Do we need another versatile forward? Maybe. If De Bruyne leaves, we obviously need another a creator somewhere on the pitch. It can't just be Foden. That's ridiculous. Yeah. It's tricky. This would be very fun. Very, very, very fun. Because Wharton solves the passing from deep issue. And Baleba would solve our physicality issue. Or help it, rather. They wouldn't be the finished article. I don't think that signing the 2 in January would, kickstart our season. We win the league from there. But those sorts of players would be interesting. They would be very, very interesting to me. And I think they would just immediately improve the squad overall. So, for example, if you could do Belaber and Wart and basically swap them out for, like Cover and Gundo, as an example, or Cover and Nunes, or Gundo and Nunes, some combination therein, I think that's an immediate upgrade. They're not like world beaters right now. They are young. We would be relying on them to achieve a high ceiling. But it would be a step in the right direction. The dream, I know we keep talking about, I keep talking about it. The dream player is someone like Bruno Guimaraes. Someone like Germany, Camavinga, someone of that ilk would be wonderful. That ain't ever going to happen. I appreciate and accept that. So therefore, we're sort of looking at maybe the tier below who aren't quite ready yet, but might be able to get ready. In possession, yes. Out of possession, no. He won't be able to do it. I love Kolarov, man. Absolute boy. Yeah, we need that physicality. Definitely. Belaber, definitely. Wharton, maybe not as much, but, I mean, compared to, Gundogan or Kova, then yeah, obviously. Dinesh, we ain't winning shit. We'll finish third at max and need to rebuild. And I've been saying, I feel like I've been saying for the past month or so, or maybe even a couple months, that without reinforcements, we're definitely finishing third. And right now, Orca, that's who I like. I like Belaber. You get me? Oh, Mrs. Nobbins likes her shout out, by the way. She says, thank you guys very much. She loves you all. She loves the Nabinio Nation. Big up. Big up. Steven says, thought it was quite a decent second half. Yeah. Let's get back to the game for a moment. For 10-15 minutes when the wingers came on, that was fun and that was nice. The rest of the second half, and I did think we actually played quite well. The rest of the second half, again, ignoring the bit after we conceded, I wonder how much of that was literally just Liverpool backing off a bit. Orko, I've told you my thoughts on Belaber. I want him. I wonder how much of that is just Liverpool backing off. Because they were pounding us in that first half in particular. The pressure was on. They could have scored, again, 3, 4, 5 goals. Ridiculous and embarrassing. How much of that was just them going, let's chill for a little bit. We'll give them a bit of space. And then we'll just kill them off towards the end. I wonder how much of it was game state. If it was 0-0 at that point, would we have looked that good in the second half? I wonder. I don't know. And we'll never know. But as I say, I just wonder how much of it was Liverpool almost letting us play well. Again, well is doing a lot of heavy lifting there. No, I agree. Yeah, DJ, it could have been. That is the understatement of the century. Yeah, it could have been 4 after 20 minutes. And people have the gall to tell me that, oh, if only our strikers took their chances. Or if only our forwards created a little bit more. Yeah, let's get over 4-goal deficit in 20 minutes. How about them apples? Yeah, I think I agree, Herbal. I think it was just Liverpool backing off and going, yeah, whatever, we'll just hit you on the counter, lads. And ultimately that's what happened, and they scored the goal thanks to an error. And they should have scored more goals on the counter-attack as well. So it worked for them. Slot was very clever. Very clever. So easy to play against us now. We're so predictable. And we're even more predictable if we set up like this where there's no hope. Let's just full send it. I can't believe... I'm so dead against full sending it, but we're actually just going to have to. Orca, you keep saying thoughts on Belaber, and I keep telling you, I want Belaber. Chill. Yeah, I'm dead against doing that, but we're actually at the stage now where it's just sort of got to happen. And again, that doesn't mean, you score 4, we score 5, but it does mean just be a bit more adventurous. You get me? Carlos says, it wasn't as bad as I expected. Seemed more temporization from Liverpool's end. That's what I mean, Carlos. I think if Liverpool wanted to, they could have destroyed us. They could have switched it on at any moment. I think they felt sorry for us to an extent. That's why I'm not... Because I predicted a 3-0 defeat. I predicted us to get battered. I thought, obviously, the second half wasn't as bad as the first. But again, how much of that was just because they just backed off and were like, we've won this. How do you want to see Pep from now on, tactics-wise? What I want is Pep to accept that you've got to commit to... You need to shit or get off the toilet. Does that make sense? Shit or get off the toilet. Don't, you know, we are tiptoeing around the pool without diving in. So our feet are getting wet, but it's that really annoying wetness where it's sort of like the rest of you is dry and you've just got like a bit of grim droplets all over your feet, and it's cold and it's windy and it's not a nice time. So you're technically wet, but you're not really getting the benefits of the nice warm pool. You get me? But you're still also not 100% dry. That's the issue. Anthony, mate, you tried to tell me that Akanji should play at 6. Can we please get L's in the chat for Anthony for trying to suggest that Akanji should play as the bloody 6? Can we please get L's in the chat? I'm shaming you now because you're boring me. Thank you very much. What Pep needs to do is commit. Yeah? He needs to go, right, well, what are we doing here? Are we just going to turn into a totally defensive team and play on the counter? So in which case it makes sense to start players like Ortega and, I don't know, Lewis and Walker out on the right and all that stuff, etc., etc. Or is there like a nice situation where we can actually have offensive players on the pitch and actually set up where it makes sense to do that as well? So that's what I'd like to see in the first instance. Commit to the philosophy. No, he didn't play Akanji at 6, lad. He didn't play Akanji at 6 today. He just didn't. Akanji going into the midfield in possession is not the same as playing Akanji at 6. It's not. He's never played him at 6. He never will play him at 6. Unless everyone dies, I guess. I don't know. So in terms of personnel, that means playing like Savio or Doku. It means playing both those and De Bruyne when they're both fit. That's what it means. So that's what I want to have happen. These complicated Nobbins analogy. I feel expected 6-7-0. So with that not happening, I'm content. The fact that Liverpool could have destroyed us, but merely chose not to. That hurts indeed, Carlos. Indeed. As I say, toying with us like little baby boys is what happened there. No team has conceded more than us in our last 7. Is that phone's fault too? Should we play Kanji to 6 to try to solve this play problem? Is what take the answer? I'm sorry, Anthony, but Jack has absolutely shat on you there. He shat on you and didn't even provide you any toilet paper. Crazy. That is crazy. Needs to be Mendy or Richie from Torino. I don't like Richie. I don't like him as a shout, to be honest. I won't lie. Will, I promise you, we've tried the Gundo Kovac pivot. It's shit. The conclusion is that only one of Gundo or Kovacic should be on the pitch at any one time. Those two playing together is horror. It is horror. They just like, there's no point of them being in the same team as one another. One of them is all you need. If you're going to have a standard pivot, make it Kova Nunes or something like that. That's what I do. Who's covering midfield of all these attacking players? Good question, Nomsky. Who's covering our non-attacking players now would be my retort to that. No one is covering us now, and we're still setting up defensively, and we're getting no benefits from it. So we might as well try to do something in terms of trying to overwhelm, overpower, force them back to an extent as well, maybe. Force them back, at least. If you're concerned about that, if you're concerned about it, you could play Gavarzio at left wing. In possession. Out of possession, he can go back to defence. So that's what I would do. If you want to be more conservative, you can do my system where you've got Gavarzio pushing up to the left. If you want the insane system, which is very fun, but very attacking, you can play Gvardiol in the Stones role. It would probably make more sense to have Gvardiol out on the left. Foden, De Bruyne, Haaland, Savio makes up that front five. And then you got Nunes and Gundo/Kova in the two behind. Either of those two, don't care which one. I'd love to see either of those two. Maybe the first one for if we're chasing a game, for example. Maybe you could start with the second one, and if you're chasing the game, fuck it, and take off Nunes for Doku, and do that. Maybe that could be a thing. If we play technical players in midfield, we'll fuck defensively, and if we have better defensive players, we'll struggle with build up. Yeah, again, we need to go one way or the other. Damn, Busquets Gerrard would have done the job. Okay, he's a tactical genius though. Let's calm down. I'm accepting this as an off-season, but I'm now praying for certain things. 1, top 4 finish. 2, Liverpool only wins the Prem. 3, make the FA Cup final. I agree. It is... The season from the Premier League is over. I've come to terms with that. And this was like the final nail in the coffin. Because in a freak world where we somehow got a win today, there would have been hope. But as far as I'm concerned, the league is done. So any wins from here now is a bonus. Yeah? That's the situation. Any wins from here are bonuses in terms of the Premier League. The FA Cup, you never know what's going to happen. Champions League, no, we are nowhere near defensively good enough. If we get a good run in the FA Cup, then we can win the FA Cup, and we'll have won 2 trophies this season, technically, with the Community Shield as well. So it wouldn't be the end of the world. It wouldn't be the end of the world. I haven't quite figured out who I want to win between Arsenal and Liverpool, because this Liverpool team isn't really like even the same Liverpool team that City were rivals with, to be honest. Like, a lot of the players are different. And I think most importantly, from my perspective anyway, I think the manager is the key issue. Again, I like Slot as a person. It's very hard to dislike him. Klopp did not like Klopp. I thought he was a knobhead, in all honesty. Yeah, indeed, Miami. But I think that's all fan bases, in fairness. I will say that in terms of like whatever, if you want to call this a rivalry between City and Arsenal, I don't even know if it really is. It's only been happening for 2 years. But if we're calling it that, that's never got nasty in terms of the fans, really. It's just more annoying. Like, you know, when you're swatting a fly, that's the equivalent. Whereas City and Liverpool, it got very dark at times. Very, very dark. And very aggressive and toxic, to be honest. Like, it crossed the line from both sides, by the way. Not just... lots of Liverpool fans did bad things. Lots of City fans did very bad things. That hasn't happened yet with Arsenal. Hopefully it doesn't. Yeah, I don't actually know what I'm trying to say there, but I'm just trying to talk about it. Neither would be ideal. It would be funny if Liverpool won, because it means Slot's won before Arteta. And even though I rate Arteta as a manager, that would be funny. So maybe maybe from a chaos perspective, maybe I want Liverpool to win for the chaos vibes and the sort of like the madness of it all. Because that also raises the question about, I mean, it doesn't, because Klopp's still a great manager, but it's also funny. It is funny from a Klopp perspective as well. It's like, Slot's already wins many league titles. That's interesting. It's more funny and interesting than anything else. So there we go. When you concede 4 versus Spurs and you know your defense is absolute dog shit, need to fix that, and maybe we could get a draw from games like today. Yeah, exactly. Will, I don't know where that comes from, because it got very, very toxic and very violent. So maybe the managers, maybe the players, but in terms of the fans, again, someone who was in the stadium, I can tell you right now that was not the case. It got bad, like very bad, from both sets of fans. Yeah. The first... Again, I'm so happy we've got so many sensible people here. The first port of call has got to be solid defensively, or not even solid, just don't be shit defensively. Because if you're the Feyenoord game is the best example. You are 3-0 up with 20 minutes left. There is no world you don't win the game. We've done that, and that puts to bed the arguments those people were having where they're like, oh, if only we scored those chances against Brighton to go, 3-0 up, maybe we would have won the game and they wouldn't have conceded. Right, but we conceded 3 in 15 against Feyenoord. So that's no argument at all, is it? There's no point in solving the offensive issue if we're not able to not concede 5 big chances in a game. That's the problem. And then if you've got a solid foundation and you believe in your defence, then you can build from there. It's very annoying. Oh, I made a video on Foden PB Suite. It's called How City Won the Title Last Season. Go watch it. It seems some people have forgotten. How many points do I think Liverpool will get? Yeah, Kazoo. I don't know. Again, the annoying thing is, again, shout out Liverpool. They deserve to be winning the league. I've not been overly impressed with them, though. Like, I don't think they're, like, going to get 95 points. I think this league will be won with high 80s. I think, like, 89 or 88 gets you the league this season. I think if you clear 90, then you're easily going to win it. I don't see Arsenal getting more than... I don't see them breaching the 90 barrier, for example. I think that maybe Liverpool and Arsenal will get mid to high 80s. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I want, Will. That's what I want. Here's my team, Will, just so you can have it in your break, because I don't think you were here for the streams earlier. This is my ideal team, which still works and makes sense. Let's assume everyone's fit for argument's sake as well. Why not? Edison in goal. 3-2 build-up. Ake, Diaz, Akanji. 2 ahead. Kovacic, Nunes. Right now that would be Gundogan because Kovacic is injured. Then the front 5. Gvardiol, false winger. Beautiful. He's been fantastic offensively. Savio, right wing. True wing 1v1 threat. We love to see that. The 2 best interiors in our squad. Foden and De Bruyne. And the reason why we won the league last season. And obviously Haaland up top. That is what I would do. And in answer to your question, Will, what is stopping us from doing that? Nothing. Nothing is stopping us from doing that. Zilch, nada. Yeah, and also, I wasn't even on social media when it got very bad between City and Liverpool from like 2017 through to 2020-ish. I was there in the last rivalry, the last title race, sorry, in fairness. That was more insufferable than actual like violence and terrible chants to one another and just like grim stuff, and like people throwing shit at buses or throwing like coins at people, or celebrating when a player goes off injured, or like fights in the stands. It got very very bad and scary at times, to be honest. In the words of the not so wise man, the league is gone blood. I don't know who that is, but yes. Liverpool fanbase aren't as annoying as Arsenal. Online, I agree. Online, I would agree with that. In the stadium, I think it's much of a muchness. But yeah, online it is pretty impressive. But I don't forget that period where apparently Liverpool, according to some of these Liverpool fans, they had better everything than us. I was like, right, but you won one title. Now, Will. If your player gets kicked in the face and they have to get stretchered off, you don't celebrate that shit. You do not, or rather, you don't. No, they booed, didn't they? That's what they did. They booed. They booed Edison getting stretchered off. That's what happened, and we went mental. Oh, yeah, it was going to kick off. Oh. Deary me. Stones isn't a 6. No, I don't like him. I don't like him there. Who knows? Maybe he'll do better than Gundogan, but that's not saying much. Pep is not washed up, indeed. Yeah, he is indeed injured. Today was good on losing 2-0. Yeah, it got too much. From both sides, again, I'm not saying it was only Liverpool, it was both. It was crazy. If only went 4-0 up, maybe we would have won 4-3. Exactly, Sock Gamer, exactly. They go hand. This is why you need to be good at both. If you can only be good at one, it's better to be good at attacking. But if you want to win the league, you need to be good at both of them. To be honest, and to an extent they do go hand in hand. If we don't win, I hope Arteta wins the league. He deserves it for all the work. Okay. I just feel Pep doesn't trust Nunes in midfield for some reason. Yeah, don't get it. Yeah, I know. Good times, Matty. That was before. That was when the copium was still present. Clearly. Yeah, that's just like, you know, not ideal, is it? You shouldn't be doing that. Yeah, I don't get it either, Jack. Like, it's literally, I don't want to be that guy, but it is a game. You know what I mean? I'm not being funny, but there's so many things in the world to get upset and concerned about. Like, I know that, you know, I'm doing like I know it's like my job and whatnot, but some people do. Some people take it too far and like act it like it's their whole personality in life. It's like, guys, chill out. Yeah. There's a difference. Yeah, exactly. There's a difference between banter and just being disgusting. You know, like it's banter to, I don't know, celebrate, go away if like a player falls over or whatever. It's not banter to boo a player getting stretchered off or to attack a team's coach or to sing an offensive chant or whatever. It's not acceptable. What Bernardo Silva did was banter, you know, where he just didn't celebrate. And I'm not gonna lie, I wouldn't have celebrated. I wouldn't have applauded. I wouldn't have given them a guard of honor because they're your rivals. I'm not applauding you. No, I'm annoyed. You call me a bad loser if you want. I wouldn't have done that. I've gone, no, sod that. You're my rival. I'm not gonna clap you. Hell no. Yeah, exactly. Stuff like that. Crazy. My ideal signing is Bruno Guimaraes. It ain't happening. In terms of one that might happen, probably like a Baleba or a Wharton would be fun. Daniel, are you 3 years old with those words? Liverpool are somewhat lucky playing teams at the right time. Current Arsenal, maybe early season City would have beaten them, for example, maybe. But then I look at those teams we played, like those first 3 games of the season where people go, oh, didn't we play well? Did we though? Because the first game was against Chelsea, their first game under Maresca, so teething problems there. Second game, West Ham away. We saw Arsenal put like 5 or 6 past them. So, I don't know how impressive that is. West Ham are shit. And then the other one, at home, against Ipswich, and we conceded the goal. I don't know how impressive those performances even were. I think we may have been bad all season, potentially. Yeah, well, that was a mistake by Pep, clearly. Got salty. I thought it was just banter, to be honest, Daniel. How did Pep not remember Doku versus Trent and not see how Robertson has been shaky this season? That's the thing. I thought we were going to like try to have a go at their because yeah, again, Savio up against Robertson. That's fun. That's a potentially fun matchup. Robertson obviously gave away a penalty against Real Madrid. As you say, maybe hasn't been up to his usual standards. Trent, this would be his first game back following his injury. It made total sense to try to target them or attack them, but we did the exact opposite. Very odd. Oh my god, no, they did, to be fair. And this really infuriated me. I was in the stadium, I can confirm they cheered and celebrated when he was limping off. They cheered and celebrated, and that reminded me of when Liverpool fans, you know, booed Ederson being stretchered off. It was very similar. It was very, very similar, and it was very disappointing, to be honest. You should never do that. That's poor form. You always applaud when a player goes off injured. It's the done thing. It's what you do. It just is. As a fan, it's like get better soon sort of thing. It's just what you do. It doesn't matter who the player is. That's what you do. It's like doing the opposite. It's just disgraceful. The warning signs were always there. Teams found out how vulnerable we are on the counter and just in general as well. League seems very competitive this year. I would still argue it's weak at the top, though. I know Liverpool battered us today, and they absolutely deserved to batter us, of course. But I'm looking at like the top three in Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea. And in isolation, I don't think they've been that impressive. This season they have relative to everyone else. That's why they're, in the top three. But I'm not sure how impressive they've really been relative to the standards that we know of. I hope so too, Seb. And there are bad people in our fan base, of course. Like, I've sat next to some of them. When they were like someone was like booing, the bending of the knee thing, and I like challenged them on it, obviously. But it's just bad. It's just humans. Humans are knobheads, aren't they? If we play Chelsea now, we'll get cooked. Oh yeah, definitely. City will finish second, Chelsea third, Arsenal fourth. That would be impressive from this point. And yeah, I don't think so, mate. I don't think that's true. It was a pretty innocuous thing. I know it's so boring. It misses the whole point. And also, and I know you know this, Kazoo, but like, how is he going to stop us conceding 5 big chances in a game? Oh, surprise, he ain't. Weird. Same, Simo, yeah. Low high, you're more faithful than me. Oh yeah, people are sat next. I mean, they weren't racist to Sterling, to be fair, but the amount of times that they just like called him out was like, "What, you like Sterling's our best player on the pitch? Are you okay?" And these were the years when he was popping off. By the way, still wasn't good enough for these people. So it's just humans. I hate human beings. We're all scumbags, and I hate every single one of us. We should all perish in a pit of despair. Would it be a bottle if Liverpool don't win it? I've got some unwritten rules on bottle jobs. Fair, yeah, exactly, Jadine. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, the solution is to bench the best player in the league last season. Just play Kanji at 6. Just do it. For me, it's too early to talk about bottle jobs. We're only 13 games in, and Liverpool are... It's not even ahead of us now, is it? Okay, it would be a bottle job if we caught up to them. Because we're double digits behind, but Arsenal are only 9 points behind, and one of those is against Liverpool. So if Arsenal win that game, then it's only 6 points behind. If they're still 9 points behind come January, then maybe it's a conversation to be had. Right now, I think it's too early to say anything's a bottle job. There's no doubt that Liverpool are the favourites, obviously. And I think they will, indeed, win the title. Because they've been the best team in the league by a fair margin. Do they have the best goal difference? Yeah, they've got the best goal difference. They're still the only team who haven't conceded double-digit goals, which is very impressive. Only lost once. Only dropped points twice. One of those was against Arsenal. So I think let's wait until around the halfway stage / late Jan. Then we can talk about bottle jobs. It's too early for me. You never know. Maybe tonight, Salah and Van Dijk get massive injuries, and then that derails their season, for example. In which case, it wouldn't be fair to label this as bottle job. But get to around the halfway stage, or just after, then I think you can start talking about that. But of course, they're the favourites right now. They're the best team. They're 9 points clear. Yeah, it's... Obviously they are the best. Jack. You are taking a piss. I did urinate earlier. You're absolutely right. I did indeed urinate. Yeah, I think Chelsea... I said this last season, in fairness. I did say Chelsea are too good. Sorry, Chelsea have so many good players that they're too good to fail. I didn't think they'd be this good this season, but I think they are... It's still too early for them in their evolution. I think maybe next season or the season after, that's when they could be properly challenging. There's just a couple of pieces they still need. They still need a keeper, or a Sanchez replacement anyway. They still need like at least a centre back. They probably still need like another elite wide player or an elite forward. So they're still a couple pieces away. But there we go. 9 points is doable at this point. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, in theory. But remember, it's net. So yeah. Yeah, from Jan, I agree. It doesn't matter if he's average PB Sweet. We have to play him right now. Because Stones is injured. So we have to play him. I don't back Arsenal to do it until they get their own KDB Holland Salah. Saka's min and that. But I don't think he can be the best player in a title-winning side. If he can do what Foden did last season, then absolutely fair play. And that would be wonderful. But it's a shame that from his perspective, he's up against, Liverpool side, which has got, like an informed Salah right now. And obviously Van Dijk is looking good. He's looking good. So it's a shame. We'll drop points, but that's the thing, Andrew, isn't it? It's all about net gain. Indeed. I was happy about it in the short term. And I still would have preferred signing Gundogan than no one. But the fact that it resorted to that is insane to me. Let's just scrap through halfway season, formulate a good plan forward. I'm still hopeful, but it's hard indeed. Chelsea might at this point. KB replacement, there isn't one. Payne, look at the camera. Pep, what are you doing to this, man? Oh, God. We could talk about Liverpool not looking that impressive, but who in Europe can you say is better than them? No, indeed, Harrison, absolutely, absolutely. I still maintain that I think football is quite weak right now, but in a vacuum, that's irrelevant. All you need to do is be better than everyone else, and so far, that's exactly what Liverpool are doing. Fair play to them, obviously. Wirtz is not a De Bruyne replacement, I'm afraid. You'll find that no one is a De Bruyne replacement. This is why it's a flawed thing to look at it. The best we can hope for is obviously try to sign another creative passer, because we can't just have Foden in the team as our only creative interior. There's got to be someone else doing it. I mean, we saw at no point in this game today did we ever have... I don't think we ever had two creative interiors throughout the entire game, because when Foden went off, De Bruyne came on. So we had nothing centrally throughout any of the game. You need two. In the I feel like Pep's teams have always had at least two. In like Centurion and in the Centurion year, it was David Silva and Kevin De Bruyne. In the domestic quad year, it was a mixture, to be fair. Sometimes it was David Silva, Gundogan. This is prime Gundogan, by the way, or like a much better Gundogan. It was David Silva and Gundogan, or David Silva and De Bruyne, or David Silva and Bernardo Silva. Again, when Bernardo was more of that sort of player. And then like the treble winning year, it's De Bruyne and Gundogan. You always need two. So the fact that we're trying to run with one is mad to me. As hopefully when Bob comes back, it'll be better. But we obviously need to sign at least one more interior, maybe two. Maybe two. Trent's league's above any Arsenal player, and Alisson's also better than any Arsenal player. He's injured, to be fair, but I know what you mean. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, as of right now, there isn't one obvious. There isn't an obvious one. People say, what about Cole Palmer? Couldn't he have been the De Bruyne heir? Right, lads. I'm not being funny. When people talk about De Bruyne heirs, what they actually mean is expected assists. That's really what they mean. They're talking about chance creation via the pass. That's really what they mean. Let's run it back to last season, shall we? Kevin De Bruyne got more expected assist than Cole Palmer last season, and Kevin De Bruyne played half the season. He played half the games and still got more. There is no replacing this guy right now. No one in world football right now can replicate this. It's not a thing. It's not a thing. It never it never has happened. It never will happen. It is impossible for it to happen. Unless a player comes up or magically improves miraculously. Right now, this player doesn't exist. Maybe that player will exist, but right now, they don't. Maybe they'll develop into that player, but right now, they don't exist. I would take a treble if Trent, Van Dijk, and Salah left. Personally, go out in style. And they can build on it as well, to be fair, Andrew. You can have a different slot team. Maybe this is their last hurrah. Maybe it's their last hurrah. If Arsenal sacked Arteta and brought Inzaghi or Allegri, we'd be on same points as Liverpool or higher and would have signed a striker. Arteta believes he is Guardiola just without any trophies. I'm guessing you're not an Arteta fan than UK Arsenal. How big of an effect will Bob actually have? I think he'll have a big effect, to be honest. I'm convinced he was going to be our main right winger this season, Oscar Bob. But he got injured. Savio had to come in and be that guy. I think he would have improved us a lot. Whether it was out wide or whether it was... let's say you could play Savio and Foden and Bob all at the same time. That would be... whilst De Bruyne has been out. So again, you've got two interiors in Foden and Bob. That would be really nice. I think Bob's a great player. I think this season would have been his breakout season. I said he was going to explode this year. And then sadly his fucking leg exploded, didn't it? He's not really that anymore, though, Carlos. That's not really his vibe anymore. He's sort of playing a bit more deeper in his brain. When KDB leaves, who would I want? I don't even know. Everyone's saying Baena from La Liga. That'll be a creative option out wide, maybe. Oh, there you go, Alex Baena, there you go. Maybe that'll be a thing. I like Savio. I think he will come good. And I think Savio's been playing well, by the way. I think Savio's been playing well, for the most part. I think a lot of our players have been playing well. I think a lot of our attackers have been playing well this season. But even in games where they do play well, people forget. So I'm sorry I keep bringing it back to Foden, because I feel like I want to put that in the past. But just to address it again, Foden's played well this season when he started. Today, no, obviously. But against Bournemouth, played well. Against Southampton, played well. Against... I know he came on against Wolves. When he came on against Wolves, played well. Against Sporting, played well. Other two Champions League games, whatever, played well. I can't remember what my point is there. What was my point? My brain's gone there, lads. Sorry. I can't remember what my point was there. Oh, that's it. Even if they do play well in games, they're let down by the rest of the team. So it's pointless. It's pointless if Savio has a good game. Or if Foden has a good game, or Haaland has a good game. It's pointless. So all those good offensive displays get forgotten. Because you go, well, you lost, or you drew, or it's irrelevant, or you scraped past Southampton, or something like that. And then they just get forgotten. All anyone focuses on is like the fact that we were shit defensively, which is the correct thing to do, in fairness. Yeah, Bruno's got the passing or that sort of thing, but yeah, apart from that, he's inferior in literally every single department. Yeah, KDB is one of one. People forget Doc and Savio good games because kept getting injured. Yeah, again, I think Savio's been playing well. I know he's not got a goal, but I don't care. I think he's been playing well. I feel Etcheverry is better than anyone who's not KDB right now when it comes to assists. We'll find out, Boy G. I'd be staggered if he was trusted to start, to be honest. Liverpool fan tell me swap a side with Van Dijk because Van Dijk didn't score. Wait, what? I don't know. Szoboszlai played well in fairness. Liverpool's whole midfield. Again, story of our season. Liverpool's midfield bodied us. Bodied us. Who was City's best player today? Ake. Ake. Everyone else was much of a muchness, to be honest. Indeed, Matty, he won't. So, Echeverry coming in. Great. Wow, we're number 10. Who, if we set up like this, would have the exact same problems. Hooray. This is what people aren't understanding. Swap out Foden, who everyone apparently hates, and put in De Bruyne. Who's he playing the ball to? Someone please tell me who's he passing to. Because Nunes wasn't making the runs. Savio wasn't making the runs. Sorry, and Bernardo wasn't making the runs. And Walker, in fairness, was making the runs in that second half, but he's shit. Haaland's being doubled up on. There is nothing but a despair and loathing. That is all there is to it. I thought Doku looked good when he came on, I'll be real. Yeah, it was a penalty. Ortega takes him out. Indeed, Matty. Haaland scoring hat-tricks are fun, or fun banging long shots definitely helps with winning or at least drawing games. Right, but if you're relying on Foden to XG cheat, then you've got a problem on your hands. If you want him to do that in back-to-back... he scored 6 goals from outside the box in the league last season. If you think that can be replicated season after season after season, then people are mad. That is not normal. This is why he won Player of the Year, because it's not normal to do that. And you can't expect a player to be a Player of the Year quality every single year. Thierry Henry did not win Player of the Year every single year, because it's not reasonable to expect players to do that. This is a team game, and other people have to actually contribute, or rather the manager needs to set them up to actually contribute. This is the thing. This, man. That stupid little step over thing that he does. Why does he do that? What's the end goal? What's the end goal? I'm staring into your soul at Liam. Yes. You have to hold that. Well done, by the way. You deserve to win. I don't think so, no. I thought Van Dijk was... Apart from that weird mistake he made towards the end, yeah, Van Dijk was elite. Will Ederson come back for the next game? Yeah, I hope so. I bloody hope so. Rico needs to work on his anticipation and press resistance. I think Rico's also just like being played to death as well. I think it just needs to, again, just as we established earlier, just needs some time out of the team. This is not an option because what you are doing there is making it so we're going to have one interior in the team. This isn't a confidence issue. He played well against Bournemouth. He played well against Southampton. He played well against Wolves. He played well against Sporting. You somehow missed the point I was making earlier. People seemingly are forgetting the good performances and deciding that he just needs to be out of the team. Well, that is bollocks. He played well against Brighton as well, by the way. Didn't play well against Spurs at home. Sorry, away. Was one of our best players at home against Spurs, but that's not saying much. Stop trying to weaken the team. Let's try to improve the team. Yeah? Thank you. Walker. Yeah, Will's right, and when he has to fight, just in general. But again, it's not that's not the only issue, as we saw against Feyenoord. Poor recruitment. I feel like I've been live for a minute. Is there? Oh, LB said, "Can you redirect me when he's going live?" When's he going live? He's not going live until 10. Right. Okay. I'll be live until 10 so I can redirect to LB because I feel bad because I wasn't able to redirect to him earlier. Lads, we'll be live until 10. Get your thoughts coming in. Should we sign Xavi Simons? No. Do I think City will win against Forest? I'll predict it because why not? When we got the free kick, we did not even try to put it. That was so comical. That was like watching Laurel and Hardy. I don't know what was going on there. I don't know what was going on there. Take a break, definitely not. We're live until 10. There's no breaks in this industry, yeah? 10, it's almost 11. It's 9:37 where I am. It's 9:37 where I am. We'll be live for another 23 minutes. Like the video. Support the channel. It's free. Thank you so much to E-Ink, AK850, Andrew Wright, Jimmy Five Chins, Off Meta Professor, Sal, Jammy, Cool Head Blue, Zweed, and Ultimate for all your lovely super chats and subscriptions today. Thank you so much, guys. Can we swap Stones for Branthwaite? Someone like him would be interesting. I do like Branthwaite a lot. Why are we going for Eze? Are we? I mean, it doesn't move me. I'm not going to lie to you. Yeah, crazy. Inzaghi, no thank you. It's almost 12 AM. Big up to you for the views. My lineup for Forest is this, guys. My lineup for Forest is as follows. Edison, Ake, Diaz, Akanji, back three, in possession. Ahead of Gundogan, Nunez. That's my back five. Front five, Gvardiol, Foden, De Bruyne, Savio, Haaland. That is my team. That team wins games. Let me see that team and then I'll shut up and accept I don't know anything about football. Let me see that team once in that structure and I'll shut up for all eternity, yeah? Last time City kept a clean sheet. Great question. Against the mighty Southampton. The mighty Southampton. Guys, we had 2 clean sheets in a row. Crazy. We've kept clean sheets this season against these teams. Southampton at home. Sparta Prague at home. Slovan Bratislava away. Inter at home. When they just defended. So that's irrelevant. And Chelsea away. Remember, a fucking Chelsea team is Maresca's first game. I don't even count that. So, I'm sorry. I'm not counting Chelsea away, and I'm not counting Inter at home. Because, you know, mitigating circumstances. Fucking, so we're looking at Bratislava, Prague, and Southampton. Southampton, who are going to get relegated. Slovan Bratislava and Prague, who are going to get knocked out of the Champions League first round stage. You get me? It is. I don't know how many times I need to whip out the big chances conceded stat. I'll do it again. Because I hate my existence, as it turns out. I'll do it. I'll do it. Manchester City league games with 5+ non-penalty big chances conceded. 4 this season, which is 4 times worse than 1920, and we've only played a third of the games. It's 4 times as bad in a third of the games, so we are on course to be 12 times as bad from a big chances conceded perspective than 1920. We are on course to concede over 100 big chances in the league, which is like relegation form. Champions League. As soon as we come up against a competent team, that's it. That's it. And I'm not, it doesn't even have to be Real Madrid, Bayern, Arsenal, Liverpool. as soon as we come up against someone like a Sporting, or let's have a look at the teams, shall we? Who else? Who else is like a sort of middling team who would still beat us? Monaco, Atalanta, Lille, Benfica, AC Milan, probably Juventus. These teams are the ones who will knock us out. We don't even. It doesn't even need to be a big boy team. It doesn't need to be a big boy team. Mad.
JJVCKK says, Southampton are staying. Trust on the activeness of that.
I love how I can do that. That's class. Fucking hell. Wait, is this for England? I don't even know. His midfield 2 is going to be Bellingham Rice, though, isn't it? I don't know about Lewis Hall on the left. Probably he'd be the right option. Trent on the right. Trent at right back. Yeah, that makes sense. Rashford, I'll say. Kane, Saka, and then 3 centre backs and a goalkeeper. So fucking Branthwaite, Stones, and another centre back. I don't know. That's what I predict. Don't want to spoil my day. Well, I've got my pizza, so I'm good. I've got another one to go as well. Indeed, indeed. We'll be live for another 15 minutes, guys. Are we even going to make it to the next stage of the Champions League? We are. I think statistically we have an 85% chance to get to the knockouts anyway. We won't finish top 8 unless we win all our games, and let's be honest, we're not beating Juventus and we're not beating PSG. No Palmer. I don't think there's room for him. If my starting point is 3-4-3, I don't think there's room for him. To be honest. Yeah. I don't think it should be Bellingham Rice at the base. There should be Wharton Rice, Bellingham Palmer at 10. But Saka's got to play. Unless you want Saka at right wing back, which I guess could happen. But that would be a massive waste. I'm not saying Stones. Crazy. If he's fit, you start Stones. IT Walker versus an informed Rafael Leao. Oh dear. Oh dear. Have faith in God. God's not wearing the number 6 shirt though, is he, lads? If he was, then I'd maybe give us a half chance. You get me? Like, he's not doing dick all on that football pitch, is our Lord and Saviour. The Almighty. Pep's hand extension might have boosted their morale a little. Well, they need to act like it, don't they? I don't know. But the question is, because Bellingham starts every single... Whatever I think about it, Bellingham starts every single time, doesn't he? So, the first protocol is, where's Bellingham playing? Because he seemingly doesn't want to play in what's supposed to be his position. It's so hot in this room. I feel like... Is my plug going to blow up again? It better not. I'll be well upset. Pep's come at a time to play 6. Couldn't God play... If he can, then big up. I'd give Wright a go. This PC, man, does not sound healthy. Yeah, I don't even know, man. Didn't think of that. If I reckon Tuchel probably won't do the 3-4-3 and shouldn't. My starting point was 3-4-3. I have no idea what Tuchel was going to do. I can't even think about England at this point. I'm too busy concerned about City being so stinky and shit. I think I could deal with it if we're all on like the same page as to what the issues are. And I feel like I'm killing myself here talking about what the issues are. But people still don't want to believe me. And then people say stupid things. And then I've got to call them an idiot because they're idiots. And then they get a butt hurt. And I don't know what you want me to do to be honest with you. Because I'm not going to baby people. I'm not going to go, oh, we're all lovely and everyone's opinion is of value. Nah, it's not. There are some idiots out there, guys. Live in the real world. There are a lot of morons out there. And not everyone's opinion is valid. And not everyone's opinion is worth even entertaining or speaking about. There are a lot of idiots out there. And I can't be bothered with it. If there were just less idiots, then I could maybe have a fun time. Alas, I can't. Let's say it's a Rice Bellingham with a 10 ahead. Well, right now you've got to do it based on form, haven't you? You can't play Foden now because Palmer's playing better than him. Where do you think City will finish the season? Third. Loki might have to full send the F. If we get a good run in the cup, then there is hope. When is the FA Cup draw? When do we find that out? And then we'll find, if we play at home against a non-league team, maybe we'll win. Yeah? And then from there, we can build confidence. And get another easy home game, and another easy home game, and another easy home game. And from there, we can achieve victory. Do you get me? Oh. It's a moment of time. We're back next season. I agree, Thomas. I do agree. Is that the is that the Enterprise? Big up. It's tomorrow. Fairs. Unreal timing. Wharton alongside Rice of Bellingham at 10. Maybe. In which case, I don't think you'd be able to play Palmer then, would you? Which is a shame. But, hey. It is a thing. Yeah, I'm not interested in Sancho anymore. He was interesting at a time, but not interesting anymore. If you had to sell 5 players, who would they be? Walker. There's no point talking about players whose Gundogan's contract expires. So there's no point in talking about Gundogan. Stones, because of the injury situation, we've got to move on. I'm afraid. Bernardo, again, I love Bernardo, but I think we just got to move on. Kovacic can stay because he's a very good squad player. Nunes. Again, I like Nunes. I'm advocating for him to start, but he's just not good enough. And maybe, again, I love him, but maybe Grealish. Maybe we move on. Maybe we move on from Jack. And I love Jack. But maybe that's a thing. Oh, Calvin Phillips. Didn't even think about that yet. I don't even count Calvin Phillips. Right, Phil. I'm going to ask you who these 2 young strikers of very high world level are. I'm going to ask you who these 2 players are. If you come back to me and tell me it's Alvarez and Palmer, then you are going to get timed out. So please don't let me down. Tell me who are the 2 players you're talking about. The 2 players who would have served us today. Who are these 2 players who are going to help prevent our defensive crisis and the fact we considered 5 big chances? Tell me, who are they? See, oh yeah, he tried him towards the end, but it's like, the game's over. Like, what's the point? It's done. That's garbage time. That's like garbage time at that point. Oh, Liam Delap. Is it going to be Liam Delap? That's even worse. Somehow, that's even worse. I don't know. I don't even know, man. So there's garbage minutes, man. There's no point of doing that. Like, that, I haven't learned anything from like that Jack Grealish cameo. Yeah, that's the thing. If there was any game, like especially because Núñez played so well in the midfield against Feyenoord. So the fact he didn't play today in the midfield, it reminds me of what happened last season. Do you remember last season where, some people won't like this to be brought up for whatever reason, but remember the last season where Foden played unbelievably in the midfield and like got a hat-trick, for example, or like just destroyed the game, yeah? Scored a ridiculous scream or created something brilliant out of nothing. And then next game, he played him at right wing. It's like, what are we doing? It's that same energy. We need Núñez central because even though he's a liability on ball, at least we get his legs there. Alas. Alas. Oh. He's on loan, I think, yeah. Kovacic back quickly. Even when Kovacic comes back, though, mate, still the same issues are there. The same issues are there. I don't know how many times I need to talk about this topic. I'll be going in 7 minutes, by the way, so get your final thoughts in, chaps and chapettes. I don't really know how many times I need to talk about this. This is not a Chelsea letting go of Kevin De Bruyne situation. Kevin De Bruyne was unbelievable in the Belgium league in the first instance. Signed for Chelsea, went on loan for a year, won Young Player of the Year, and literally single-handedly saved Werder Bremen from relegation. He came back to Chelsea and played well when he played for Chelsea. For whatever reason, they didn't give him enough time and they got rid of him. They then sent him off to Wolfsburg on loan, played very well for Wolfsburg for half a season. That still wasn't good enough. Now that was just a mistake because he was clearly good enough to start or at least be involved in the squad. This is not a comparable situation because we can't just cherry pick the players like that and drop them in the team. Let's take Lavia as the example because we could really use the Lavia in the squad right now. It was a mistake to sell Lavia. Right. Okay. Let's say we kept Lavia. When did we sell him? Was it the treble winning year or was it the year after? I feel like it was the treble winning year we sold him to Southampton. Is that right? I think it was. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I'm going to start this analogy by assuming it was the treble winning year when we sold him to Southampton. So let's say we kept him at City for the treble winning year. Okay? So he doesn't get the move to Southampton. So he doesn't develop as a player. So he doesn't get picked up by Chelsea. And he doesn't now become a very good Premier League midfielder. Okay. Where's he playing? Some people think Rodri should have got the Ballon d'Or that year. Shouldn't have done, should have been Rodri. Should have been Haaland, sorry. But where's Lavia playing? What minutes? How many minutes is he going to get? Realistically. How is he going to develop his trade? How is he going to become that player? Do you really think that he's going to play over Rodri? Obviously not. So he doesn't play at all treble winning year. Okay. So he's already not developed. He's not had a whole year at Southampton. Because remember, he didn't want to go out on loan. He wanted to be sold. So we can't say send him out on loan to get developed. He didn't want that. Okay. So fine. We're holding on to him against his will. Maybe, I don't know. Okay. Last season. Who's he playing over? It's not Rodri. But that's the only player he can realistically play over. Because he's a 6. And City don't play with 2 6s, funnily enough. Right. What did Rodri do last season? Oh, I don't know. He just won the Ballon d'Or. So he's not starting at all. He's not playing any minutes, is he? He would come into the team, you know, when Calvin Phillips was playing. Nah, I don't think there was a buyback, Will, as I understand it. I think we had, like, the right to match a bid. Wasn't it a strict buyback, though? So he's not playing at all last season. He would have just played the games where Rodri, you know, was suspended. And maybe he comes into the team. So maybe he plays, like, 3 games, and who knows? Maybe we do better against Wolves and Arsenal. You know, those games where he was suspended. Maybe we do a little bit better. And Aston Villa. Maybe we do better in those games. Okay, lovely. Right? But he's still not developed. So he's still not the player that he is now. Now, Rodri gets injured. Okay, great. Lavia, now's your time to shine. Right, well, what we've done here is we've thrown him in at the deep end. Just expecting him to replace Rodri immediately. He's had zilch in respect of actual significant minutes and experience. Oh, what a surprise. He's not able to do the job is actually what would happen. People need to stop thinking that you can just pick and pluck a player out and change time. Again, this was not a De Bruyne situation where he was just ready to go now. And there was space for him in the squad. And indeed, even in the starting 11. There was no room for Lavia to start, because Rodri exists. This is the dilemma. And it's the same thing with Palmer. When you got Foden, who, oh, I don't know what he did last season, was the best player in the Premier League. He's not going to start over him, is he? Or Sancho, as Kazoo's mentioned. Or even Liam Delap. I've seen some people, or Julian Alvarez. Right, where's he going to play? We saw how Alvarez did last season when he didn't play at striker. It was crap. So, people annoy me, man. People annoy me. People upset me. I don't, Sam. We've tried that and it's shit, to be honest with you. Yeah, what we need is a 6'8" player. We all know this. This is new information. And I'm sorry I keep going on about this and boring you. Exactly, Thomas. I mean, yeah. Like, what about that winger who now plays for West Ham, is it? You know, should we have, like, kept hold of him as well? Should we have kept hold of Liam Delap? To just wallow and do nothing? It doesn't make... And then they're not going to develop, therefore it's irrelevant. And the players aren't going to be happy, and they're going to want to leave. It just doesn't work. Doesn't work. And that's a totally separate point, because realistically, guys, even if we did hold on to Delap and Palmer and Alvarez, what are they going to do to solve these problems? They're not going to do shit all. That's the answer. Who do I don't even know, to be honest. Morgan Rogers. Oh yeah, great point. That's another one. People going, oh, he shouldn't have sold Rogers. But like, the only reason he's playing well at Villa now is because we let him go. If we kept hold of him, he wouldn't have been doing anything. It's just, people are insane. Like, if these people had it their way, we'd have a totally different team. And it's not like that. If it was a player who was so obviously ready to go and there was no other challenge, like if Kevin De Bruyne or Foden didn't exist and we let Palmer go, but yeah, that's a stupid mistake. And we should have kept him and then he would have developed into that player. But that's not what the fucking context at the time was. Just silly. Again, this isn't a Chelsea De Bruyne situation. Just on Daniel Sturridge, yeah. It's on that level, though. It's actually on that level. Arsenal did it well with Partey. The Sancho Jr. has proven, obviously not of the level of title 26, but good enough to make do whilst Partey was out. Yeah, and long term, I don't know who I want it to be honest, if it's not Bruno. I do like Baleba at Brighton. I think he's really good. He's obviously 20, so that would be more of like a project thing. Hello, Hassam. How you doing, mate? Bad timing on the Bagatard charges. We'll be hearing about my gamble too soon. You see what I mean? Hopefully you see what I mean. Like, it's just madness. It's just madness. And people just like need to accept that you've got to apply the context. And you got to this is gonna sound like Back to the Future. You've got to accept that the timeline would change if neither of those things happened. Get Echeverry and ASAP. Is he gonna solve our big chances conceding issue? Is Echeverry gonna make us robust at the back? Is he gonna provide the legs in midfield alongside Gundogan? Is he gonna be a transition killer? Is he that sort of player? In case you couldn't tell, I'm being sarcastic, because he's not. If he gets found guilty, I think that's his career done, because isn't he facing criminal charges at that point as well? How many players am I sure will sign Jan? Well, at least one now. I'll lose that bet. I'm going to redirect you to LB very shortly. I'm just going to let him get into the groove of his stream and whatnot. I will owe LB a pint, because I said we're not going to sign anyone of substance in Jan. But seemingly, the issue is actually worse than I thought it was. If Morgan Rogers never went to Borough and didn't invent the Cole Palmer celebration, then Palmer would be sat on the bench for Chelsea. Whoa, you fraudster. Mattiano. No, Tom, I didn't have a good day, funnily enough. Ha ha ha. Well done, yes. If you want to go see me say nice things about Liverpool, you can go to the start of the stream. I said how brilliant you were. Go enjoy. I'd like to sign Livermento, that'd be fun. Maybe. Right, where is LB's not started yet, so I'll wait for him to... Video? Feyenoord stream? Wait, what? Oh yeah, they picked up the fucking 50 Cent song. I had to remove it. We need Mangala for defensive... Well, I think we need Echeverry for defensive solidity. He's apparently going to solve all our problems. This has always confused me as well. Now, I like McAtee as a player. I will say he played poorly against Feyenoord when he came on, but in general, I do like him as a player. But, again, people saying, start McAtee. Over who? What is him starting going to accomplish? He's not going to do anything. And he's not going to help in respect of our defensive woes. He's not better than Foden. So he's not going to play better than Foden. It's going to be the exact same issues. Oh, Tom, this whole stream has been me having a go at him, in fairness. If you want to go listen to this back, you're more than welcome to. Christ. Hey. I've got a very sarcastic and condescending personality. I accept that. But I'm proud of that shit. Nah, loads of City fans. Loads of City fans are saying McAtee should start. McAtee should start. He should start. But where? In an ideal world, we'd have De Bruyne and Foden starting. Where's he going to start? There's no point playing him deeper. He's not that sort of player. So it's going to be irrelevant. You get me? It's weird. Anthony, I don't know what that means, to be honest. I'm still not over you suggesting we should play Akanji at 6. I don't think I'm ever going to let you live that down. I'll be so real. If Haaland wasn't starting, we would have been better. I know you're being sarcastic, I can tell. Emojis do help me, to be honest. I can start for Brentford. It's not because he is a good player, but it's where does he play? him starting doesn't help. It's like, fine, start him today. Start him over Foden if you want. What do you think's going to happen? Like, McAtee's not got any attributes better than Foden in the first instance, so immediately it's going to be worse. In the second instance, if he's got no players to hit in terms of passing, what's he going to do? It's very weird. I don't really know what people want. I think it was, Jack. We should have sold Phillips to Juve when we had the chance, indeed. Kanji 6 is crazy to stay. This guy shat himself every time it's on ball. Exactly. Yeah. And some guys wanting to play in and out of possession at 6. Like, are you okay? What's your opinion on midfield? You don't want to know my opinion on our midfield. Or maybe you do, that's why you asked. It needs a total rebuild. Again, this isn't bringing in one player. We need to bring in multiple players. I think we'll only sign one. It's because again, this is the thing. So again, I sorry about keep bringing it up. I know I shouldn't give in to the trolls and whatnot, but you know that again, I mentioned it earlier. That thing that went round last season, no idea where it came from. That Foden apparently isn't held to the same standards. Is clearly bollocks, and he's apparently held to the highest standards in every single circumstance. It's irrelevant if he has a good game. It's not good enough. Last season, he was the best player in the Premier League, and even last season, some of his performances were being questioned, and as labelled as not good enough. It was happening in real time, so I'm not going to. So I couldn't believe it when people were trying to suggest that he's not held to the same standards. I have no idea where that's happened. I have no idea where that's come from. And now, again, this isn't me having a go at Arsenal fans, but Arsenal fans obviously have a big presence online, and Arsenal fans really, really dislike Foden. I think it's partly because of the whole Saka comparison. I still think Foden's better than Saka, by the way. This Saka playing better than Foden this season hasn't convinced me otherwise. In the same way that if you thought Saka was better than Foden before last season, him being much better last season wouldn't have convinced you otherwise. Because it's not a one-season thing in terms of being a better player, is it? Otherwise, one player would be... They keep swapping round. So, and they also don't like him because he's the reason why they didn't win the league last season. So that's why they don't like him. And that's why, therefore, lots of people do these interactions, because it gets easy likes from these online Arsenal fans who don't like him and wants to not like him. It's crazy. We do. We have Jacob Wright. Will. He played against Spurs. He came on against Spurs in the League Cup. He looked good. He looked good. He'd be better than Gundogan. I'm sure of that. Would he be better than Kovacic? Maybe not, but I'd like to see him given a go. But then Pep also said something like, if I had all my defenders, I'd play Stones in defensive midfield. So what are you doing? Is Lewis better in the 6 role? Lewis doesn't play at 6. What? What's going on? Lewis didn't play at 6. I'm not being funny, Anthony. Do you understand the difference between in possession and out of possession? Are you okay? What is happening? Lewis, for the avoidance of doubt, Lewis also shouldn't be playing in defensive midfield. I didn't realise I'd have to clarify that. The order of what we have now, I'd like to see Wright given a go, but that's not a thing. The order we have right now is Kovacic, and it's Gundogan, and then it's probably fucking Bernardo Silva, and then I don't know what. Anthony, we're going to fall out here, mate, or you're very close to getting blocked, because you are talking absolute bollocks. Do you understand the difference between in possession and out of possession? Simple question, do you? Follow-up question, do you think that Lewis was playing as the 6 today? 2 questions there. Hopefully simple enough. I can't actually believe I'm having to explain this. This is like baby analysis. This isn't even analysis. This is just like, I don't even know what it is. It's like I'm talking to a wall here. I don't know what is going on right now. I don't understand what is occurring right now. Oh, LB is live right now. I'll let him get into a groove and then I'll redirect to him. I think his intro's still going. Now redirect. I don't know. Lewis didn't play in the bloody 6. So why are you saying that? I don't get it. Like this, I really hope you're just winding me up on purpose. Because there's no way you can be this foolish, surely. Surely. Yeah, I don't understand. I don't understand. What's happening? What's going on? For the avoidance of doubt, Gundwan played at 6 today. I didn't think I'd actually have to say that. Didn't think that needed clarifying. Alas, here we are. Anyway, I think Anthony's going to hiding. Maybe he's actually realised how much of a dung beetle statement that was. Oh, please never come back to my streams if that's your mentality, please. Right, we are going to redirect now. The Ant-Man suit. We're going to redirect now to LB. Where is he? There he is. Boom. Oh, hello, Lewis. I don't know what's realistic either, mate. Give me Wharton and Belabour, and we'll have fun. Mateus, I think you're joking. Oh, did anyone play 6? Well, in theory, it was Gundo won it, but hey ho. Right, guys. Again, I can deal with us losing. I'm just not very good at dealing with fools. Sometimes, you get me. But there we go. Thank you for... We nearly got to 200 likes, which is very lovely. If we can get 2 more before we go, that would be nice, just to round it up. That would be a beautiful time. But yeah, great point, yeah. Yeah, we might as well just play Scott Carson at 6, or Edison in the 6, or Lewis. Yeah, Lewis in the Kanji. This is the level of... Haaland. This is the level. But apparently, I'm a knobhead for saying that someone who doesn't even know who played at 6 today thought that a Kanji would be able to do the job there. Anyway. When you get redirected to LB, don't forget to hashtag a Kanji at 6, no cap or something like that, or Nobbins raid. I don't know. Do whatever you want. Make fun of idiots is basically what I'm trying to say. But yeah. Yeah, I know. Just like, it's not even hard. And I try. I'm patient for a time. I'm patient for a period of time. But it just gets boring. And I lose patience. And I feel like I shouldn't have to baby some people. Like, you know, you're not a child. You're not 3 years old. I tell you what we're doing. And it just gets ignored by some people. It's weird. Anyway, guys. Have a lovely evening. Oh, God. Yeah, don't forget to hashtag. I've got... Right, okay, guys. I'm on a number of shows tomorrow. Right? How many times do we think someone is going to try to bring up to me that it's Foden's fault for today's game? Or that why didn't Foden step up? Why can't he take the game by the scruff of the neck? Just useless buzz phrases. How many times do we think that's going to happen before I leave you? Get your predictions in the chat right now. I'll keep a tab of them. I'm not talking about, you know, introducing the topic. I'm talking... They might say it multiple times in one argument. So, you know, for example, like, you know, like one section, they might say it 5 times. How many times do you think they'll do it? I'll make a note of it. And we'll what's the word? We'll check notes. and we'll report back. Okay, 115 seems like a lot. 6 is probably more realistic, I feel like. Because in theory, I'm going on... No, I am going on Judge Mo. I've said I'm free for the top 6, but I haven't had anything back yet, so I might not be needed, I don't know. Ultimate. 9 times, says Mateus. 69 times 35. We got over 200 likes, by the way, guys. Thank you so much for all your help. Thomas, crazy, yeah. Who'd have thunk it? Wild. Chelsea and Arsenal fans will say it a lot, but I think other ones won't. It's not even Chelsea fans, to be fair. It's, from my experience, it's been all Arsenal fans. It's always a cow, to be honest. He's the main one. Kunle's been doing it a little bit as well, which is a shame because I think Kunle can be quite sensible often. But there we go. Right, so I'll keep a note of that for you. I'm going to end the stream now. You're gonna be sent over to LB. Hashtag Nobbins raid, or you know, a kanji at 6 is the truth. Some sort of ridiculous statement, and enjoy your evening, guys. I'll be on Judge Mo tomorrow, so make sure to join me over there. Goodbye, guys.